Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Genshin Impact Devil Hunters. So yeah, before we actually start, ignore the background. I'm watching, or at least re-watching my favorite food anime currently. So yeah, anyway, let's continue on with the episode, shall we, ladies and gents? So, we currently see our boy Izuku Sparta after being um well being talked to by Lumine, aka the blonde-haired girl from the last episode. As she'd say, so if you're really from not of this world just like me, maybe you can help me. As he would say, help you with what, lady? To say the least, I'm more interested in getting back bloody home. Especially since, for obvious reasons, I am not willing to deal with any more of this. Whatever this bloody bullshit is. As she would say, wow, you're quite the vulgar one. To be fair, my dad is a demon, or at least half demon. And not only that, a demon hunter. And my mother's currently being hated by both heaven and hell. As she would say, heaven? Hell? Mind telling me what is this heaven and hell thing you say? As you would just say this. What? What, do you not know what the... Whatever the bloody hell. To say the least, I'm still pretty confused here. What is this Tevat, as they call it? And if this place is called not Fontaine, I meant... If it's called Mondstadt, and it's being governed by somebody by the name of Barbatos, it's definitely something that I'm concerned with. As she would say, explain. As the rest of the Knights of, Vonius would decide to eavesdrop on their conversation. As one of them would ask, wait, does he have a problem with our god, perhaps? As Kaya would just say, perhaps. But let's just hear his explanation first. As Izuku would continue, well, for one thing, to say the least, the name Barbatos has a pretty terrible meaning in my world. Or at least from where I came from. As, after saying it, Lumine would ask, then what is it? As you'd say, well, Barbatos is the name of a demon from my world. When I hear that name, it always associates with that. So when I heard that there's somebody named Barbatos and he's considered a god, well, I'm already concerned. As she would say, wait, really? If that's the case, then, as you would say, don't worry, I'll judge it for my bloody self. For now, I'm also wondering, what are these visions exactly? And what do you mean by elements? As she would say, oh, about that, Lumine would continue. Visions are essentially gifts from the gods, and they allow people to use the 7 elements. In this case, Pyro, Electro, Cryo, Dendro, Hydro, Geo, and I think that's all of them? Let me just double check. Yeah, Pyro, Hydro, Animo, Electro, Dendro, Cryo, and Geo. Yeah. So, as after hearing that, he would say, so, these 7 elements. If that's the case, then what the bloody hell do you mean that there's only 7 elements? Is there no, let's first say, as you would start to remember a few elements, like, for say, let me just think about it. Maybe like light, perhaps, or bloody darkness? As she would say, well, we don't exactly have that element, perhaps. As you'd say, seriously? This is sounding more like a fantasy novel than anything else. I guess I can definitely work with you. Though, what exactly do you want? As she would say, well, I want you to help me find my sibling. We got separated after we were attacked by the unknown god. As you'd say, unknown god. What the bloody hell? Oh, sure, whatever. But it will not be for free. As you'd say, wait, what? As he would say, yeah, I'm a mercenary. Or more like a bounty hunter than anything else, but that's besides the point. To say the least, I need payment. So, if you want me to help you, you definitely need to pay me a lot. As you'd say, oh, don't worry, I have a lot of Mora, so... Mora? Is that perhaps your currency? As she would say, yep. Apparently it's made in Leeway by the god Morax. As Izuku would just go like, see, I told you! As she would say, what do you mean by that? As you'd say, Morax! Morax! Another demon from the Ars go, I'm not even, this has to be a joke, right? As she would say, I mean, it's probably a coincidence or something. As you'd say, a coincidence my ass. Not only do we have somebody that's named after a demon from my world, there's another one. Whatever, let's just continue on or whatever. As while they were talking, currently the Knights of Vonius are already eavesdropping still. As one of them specifically that Regine would ask, wait, so that's the reason why? So, he thinks that our god is a demon. I can't tell if I should be angry, but also at the same time intrigued. As Kaya would say, yeah, quite interesting. So this boy thinks that our god is a demon. Understandable though. I'm quite curious why he thinks that. What do you think of this revelation? As he would look towards the I guess you could say the witch-like girl, or witch, you know, librarian. As she would say, interesting. I wonder if I can ask him a little bit more about the demons that has the same name as our gods. Also, I'm quite curious what this sword can also do. As after saying it, we would go back to the perspective of our boy Izuku. As Izuku would continue and say, so, you're telling me that there's also this other group that's been causing chaos. The Abyss, you call them? As she would say, oh, yes. That's the reason why we were kind of concerned when you came in. We thought that you were attacked by them, and that's why you're there in the middle of the ocean. Or at least, near the coast. As you'd say, to say the least, they sound like something from Inferno. As she would say, Inferno? As you would say, ignore that. But, to say the least, interesting. And the Fatui, you call them. They are... As you would say, yeah, about that. We thought that you were part of the Fatui, considering that your weapons there, the two handguns or hand cannons that you had. As you'd say, fair enough. Though, I'm surprised that you don't have any of yourselves as well. To say the least, using bows and arrows are efficient enough, but having firearms would be a great idea with you. Especially since after hearing about the whole Abyss thing that you've been talking about. I should say, yeah. Though, at the same time, we don't really want to trust the Fatui, since they kind of attacked us. As you would say, fair enough. Now, let's get this over with. I want to get back my weapons. As he would say, she would say, oh, sure, Mr. Sparta. As you'd say, I prefer not to be called that. That's my father's name. Or, at least that's what my father is usually called. Just call me Izuku for now. As she would say, oh, okay then. As after finishing that conversation, they would go back to the wait for a second, my throat to the actual meeting room. As when they arrived, they would see a few of the Knights of Avonius. In this case, the three of them were currently acting suspicious. As you would say, um, mind if I ask why are you looking like you were doing something bad? As Jean would say, oh, nothing too much. Now, about you helping us. We've been meaning to ask you if you can help us with a few commissions. As you'd say, commissions? May I ask what kind? As you'd say, well, we've been meaning to ask you for a while, traveler, as well. We want you to defeat a few camps of Hiroshos nearby. As you say, oh, those things. From what I heard from Lumine, is that these Hiroshos are animals, perhaps? I should say, kind of. They're beasts. Annoying to deal with. As you'd say, very well then. But first, may I have those back? As you would say, annoyed. As Kaya would say, sure. As you would toss off both Giorgio and Martha towards him. As he would twirl his hand cannons, aka pistols, as you would place them on his belt. Or at least on their holsters. As after doing so, he would say, and my sword? As the woman would say, oh, sorry about that. And call me Lisa. As after hearing that, he would say, sure, Lisa. As after grabbing Alistair back, he would wrap it in the same bandages that he had earlier. Doing so, he would say, alright then, where should we go? Exactly. As Jean would say, before you can go, I think it's time for you to have something to eat. Since you're here, though. As before I can say anything else, the fairy-like thing, aka Paimon, would say, hey, I know, maybe you should try out the sticky roast, pork. Like that, she would say. Obviously a bit excited to finally meet him. As you say, mind telling me what the hell is this thing? As one of them would say, or at least Lamine would say, oh, that's just emergency food. You can't. I just love that joke. It's a classic. As Paimon would say, hey, Paimon is not emergency food, she would say. After hearing that name, Izuku would just look at her and would say, are you fucking serious, he would say. As he would be annoyed, but also, just frustrated at this point. As Paimon would say, are you okay, mister? As you'd say, your name is Paimon, right? As she would say, yep, that's Paimon's name. As he would say, I can't believe somebody that looks like you is named after a demon as well. As she would say, eh? As she would be confused. As we would time skip. In a different perspective in this case. As we go to the perspective of a nearby Fatui base, near like a mining town, or at least like a mine itself. As we currently see a Fatui agent, as he would be talking to a mirror maiden, as she would say, so, do you know what exactly happened? As he would say, yes, it seems that we have another person here. More specifically, someone that's quite unique, almost similar to that traveler girl. As she would say, I see. We should report this to La Senora immediately. As he would say, understood. And so, he would leave. And so, we're gonna be ending off this episode right off here, guys. So yeah, bye-bye!